Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. The quickest, easiest, crispiest onion rings are on our menu today. 7 ingredients. That's all we need. 7 ingredients for this. We need seasoned salt, baking powder, breadcrumbs, and onion, of course. Alright, we need flour, milk, and egg. Y'all know what I always say. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's get to it. Right into a bowl or bag, you want to put 1.5 cups of flour. You want to put 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt. After that, you want to get it mixed up really well. Alright, you want to have some parts having seasoning and other parts not. Alright, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, do so now. Hit that share and that bell for notifications. Alright, next you want to put some breadcrumbs in a plate. No particular amount, just put a good amount onto a shallow dish or a plate. Alright, so now we want to slice the onions. Now with the onions, when you're thinking onion rings, you want to slice them a little bit thicker, but it's really up to you. Now if you want to do yours a little bit thinner, you know they're going to cook a little bit quicker, but it's really okay. So that's how thick I'm going to do mine. It's cut a little crooked, but it's okay. It's mine. They're homemade. Wonderful. Alright, so obviously once we slice these, we want to get the skin off the outside of the onion. And sometimes, you know, with onions, there's another layer right there that's a little tough. If you got that little tough layer outside, you want to take that one off too. But if you don't, then cool. Now then you want to separate your rings. Alright, so you use all of the size rings that you want to use. So right now I'm using a smaller onion, and the only reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to put this on a slider. So if this was regular onion rings, I would use one of those really big onions and then have some really huge onion rings. But the method for cooking these will remain the same. It's not going to change whether it's small onion rings or huge ones. Got it? Yep. Alright, so we're going to concern ourselves with that. And after we do that and we get these all spread out on the board, we're going to move on to our next step. Now meanwhile, in the background, you see I got the oil heating. So you do want the oil to heat, and you want the oil to heat to about I would say 375, because these are going to cook very quickly, about 2 minutes aside. So you want to put them, you want it the heat kind of high. So anywhere between 350 and 375 will work out just fine. Alright, so that 1 egg we want to beat that egg. So we need 1 beaten egg. If you double the recipe or triple it, then obviously, but you just want to beat the amount of eggs that you're going to use. Alright, so beat it really well, because this is going to be part of our wet batter. Alright, keep watching. So we're going to use dry and then wet. Now you're going to take all of the onions, you're going to toss them in the flour. So now you want to look at each one, and you want to be careful. You want to be sure that each part of the onion is covered with the flour. Alright, so this is the dry part of our batter. The flour, the baking powder, the seasoned salt all mixed together. But we're going to turn that dry into the wet, right into the same bowl. Right in the same bowl, I mean. Alright, so it's going to be easy. We're not going to make a mess. Alright, so we're going to make sure each ring is covered with flour. They are. We're going to lay them out. We'll lay them out on this board. Alright, check to make sure you didn't leave any. And this is where we will create the wet batter. So in creating the wet batter, the milk and the egg will go into this flour mixture. Alright, so remember, you got that dry, you got the breadcrumbs right there. So you want enough breadcrumbs that they cover. You want a really crunchy, crispy onion ring, so you want to make sure they cover. Alright, so here we're going to make a wet batter. The wet batter needs to be as thick as pancake batter. So you know how thick that is. So we don't want this too thin. If this is too thin, then it's not going to stick like we need it to stick. So if you've seen onion rings and some of the batter is coming off or something like that, then that's the reason why. Alright? So as thick as that is, we're going to add a little more milk, and we're going to make that a little thinner. So we're going to make it to the consistency. What we're going to do is we're going to make it to a pouring consistency. So the way you pour pancakes, or you see those funnel cakes or something like that, that's about how thin how thick we want this. All right, so right here at the end, it's nearly perfect, but I'm going to pour the rest of the milk in there, and then that's going to give us the perfect consistency. So see? All right, so I had another 1/4 cup. I put that in. All right, so now we get to the part we're going to dip the onion rings. Don't skip this. Don't skip this. When you put these onion rings in this batter, it's really thick. Do not put it straight into the breadcrumbs. What we're going to do is we're going to put it on a baker's rack or some sort of rack, and we're going to let it drain a little bit. If you don't, then you're going to get very misshapen onion rings. So you're not going to get that beautiful round shape we look for. All right, so you're going to have these big, long, extra thick drips. You don't want that. Trust me, for presentation purposes, you don't want it. All right, so make sure. See, make sure you get it completely coated too. So make sure every part of that dry part with the flour on it, make sure all of that is coated. And if it's not, then just redip it. It's perfectly okay. And so we're going to leave these here for like maybe like 5 minutes. We're going to let them drain completely before we put them into the breadcrumbs. So that's where we're going next. All right, easy peasy, right? Yep. So now I'm going to press these into the breadcrumbs, and that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually press it. See? All right. Now while I'm pressing, when I pick this up, I'm going to shape it a little bit too. So make sure if you have any of that batter hanging, and you don't have the really round shape you're looking for, get it as perfect as you can. So if you can press it around there a little bit, yep. So that oil is ready. It's hot, and you want it hot too. Well, if you're making multiple batches, because the good thing about this is they get ready quickly, but you need to make them in small batches. So you need to do like 4 or 5 of them at a time, but don't crowd your pan. Give these room to fry quickly and turn. All right. So see, I'm going to shape it around there a little bit, make it look pretty, and into the oil we go. All right, so I'm letting you take a look at them while they're still frying. So you can see I got room in the pan to move them around. They're floating. So watch the color. You want a really golden brown color. But you want to make sure your onion is done on the inside. But never fear. Once you do these like 2 minutes on each side, trust me, your onion will be ready. So don't leave them in here thinking you're going to have something raw on the inside, because you definitely will not. Because the oil is hot enough. Alright, so you can wait until they're golden brown on one side and turn them once, or you can do like I do and you can turn them multiple times. So it's really up to you. Alright, it's really up to you. Alright, don't mind me in my PJs today. I wasn't going to film this, but then I decided, hey, what the heck. It's quick, it's easy. We're getting up to these game days. It's football season. This is perfect. Alright, I want to show you what these look like when I take them out. Didn't I say quick, easy, and delicious? Look at those. Y'all gotta go make these. Like, y'all gotta go make these. Alright, thanks for watching. See y'all next time. For more great recipes, tips, and ideas, check out some of my other videos.